Hi everyone, welcome to Marketing Made Easy. In this video, I'm going to discuss service marketing. Before we go further, if you like this video, I would like you to subscribe to my channel. Watch my other videos also on marketing topics. If you like this, please do also share with your friends. So in this video, I'm going to discuss characteristics of services. This is very important topic for service marketing. So the first characteristics of services is intangibility. Second one is heterogeneity. Third is simultaneous production consumption. And the fourth is perishability. First one, intangibility. Actually, services cannot be touched, felt, seen or tasted like we do for products. Services have to be experienced. So there are some challenges involved as services are intangible, which cannot be touched. So the first challenge is that it can't be stored as inventory like we do for products. Actually, if it is a product, we can store it and it can be inventoried. But services can't be done like that. And it also leads to demand fluctuations which cannot be managed because of these reasons. For instance, if you might have visited restaurants or movie theaters which offer service, you might have noticed many times that they keep the board closed. That means they are unable to manage the demand. Actually, this is very good because they are having new customers, potential customers, but they are unable to satisfy the potential customers. Similarly, if you have visited the movie theaters, you would have experienced many times that bookings are closed or tickets are over or the theater is fully occupied. All these are instances of this particular aspect where demand fluctuations are there and they cannot be managed, right? Next, the next thing is that there is difficulty in patenting a service. In fact, Uber and Ola, which can be taken off as an example, I have had the experience of booking a cab wherein I saw that the cab driver is parallelly using Uber and Ola apps. So it is something which can easily be copied. So services can't be patented. At the same time, there is more chance of them to be easily copied. The next aspect is that there is difficulty in display. If it is a product, companies or organizations can ask the dealer or distributor to display it on shelf. But if it is a service, it is very difficult. In fact, many of the customers do not really trust the company before the service is offered. That is why I have taken these two examples wherein the male has gone to a salon and he is not sure. And similarly, if you can see before and after pictures of this hairstyle which has been done, it can't be communicated before the service is rendered or offered. But in case of a product, that can easily be done. Next, it is difficult for customers to assess. If you are trying to compare a product, it is much easier on its features. But it is very difficult for a service to be assessed. They do not know, the customers really do not know whether a particular service will be offered by an organization. Will it be credible? How far or how long can you trust that particular brand? Like for instance, Airbnb. So when customers do try to book, they will look for a lot of options and they will also see the reviews. So it is very difficult for the customers to assess before using that particular service. Next, pricing is also very difficult. Like for instance, there are different service features and different categories, and how will the customer be willing to trust the brand that they have been priced properly and they are not overpriced? If you are searching for a particular brand like say Ola or Uber, how will you for sure know that this is the proper price that is offered and that is what you are bound to pay? Next comes promotion mix elements. There is a challenge for the service that promotional mix elements can't be designed. So if you are competing with brands, say for instance Zomato versus Swiggy, you might have seen lot of offers that these two companies offer to you. Sometimes they give us coupon, sometimes it is a free delivery, so many things. So here the promotion mix elements design is very difficult in terms of service. Next comes heterogeneity. No two services can be same as they are performed by individuals who are different. So this is very important characteristics of service marketing. So here there are certain challenges again because this is produced by humans. Services can't be alike. I have taken the example of Javed Habib here and other two brands where we see that every service that is being offered will be completely different and the customers who are approaching these people for the so-called service also have their unique tastes, which are very important, and we can't say that the end product will be the same. So it is very difficult for a service to be judged on this particular factor. Next, the same thing goes across time, because across time services change, and even if the same person is rendering or offering the same service, it might change according to the time, according to the month or year in which he is actually delivering. So here I have brought you the example of master chefs. Even though all these are very popular master chefs in India and across the globe, the item or the product or the food that they are making could be very, very different according to their own taste, and the individual taste might differ from the customer's viewpoint also. There are some challenges in heterogeneity. Services are heterogeneous across time, organizations and people, meaning along with time our preference also change. Similarly, the service provider also, by his or her experience, he or she might deliver it better, and across organizations also it differs. If you are booking a cab, or if you are ordering some food, or if you are going to a particular hospital or a particular museum, your experience might be completely different when you compare to different zoos or to different hospitals, or even if you are comparing some other services like education or professional services like lawyers. And it also is different through people. In the sense, you might be experiencing, or you might have a personal experience that when you go for the same service to different people, the way they do it or the way they render it is what we are calling it as heterogeneity. Next, here needs have to be expressed well and properly. If you are not able to communicate what is it that you are expecting from your service renderer or service provider, it will be very difficult for him or her to render the service exactly. Next, the level of demand for the service. If there is a very professional and successful doctor, he might be or she might be very much in demand. So it is for you to understand that there's a lot of demand. So this is also one more important challenge for service marketing. Next, ability and willingness of the service provider to satisfy the needs. How far he or she is qualified. Like for instance, it could be in education, it could be in a beauty parlor, it could be in a spa, it could be in a museum, it could be professional services like consultants or lawyers where you can't measure certain things. They also need to have the capability and the willingness to provide the need to customer. Next, presence or absence of waiting customers. For instance, if you go to a hospital, the doctor's time allotted for you might depend on the number of people that are waiting on a particular time and on a specific date. The next important characteristic is simultaneous production and consumption. Services have to be produced and consumed simultaneously. This is a very tricky thing which happens in services. So here if you see in the flight, there are people who are sitting across. So the interaction in service production will affect both the customer and the service provider. At the same time, there might be also disturbances which could happen among the customers who are traveling in this particular vehicle. Next, action, interaction and real time. In the sense that there is a possibility of action and reaction and interaction at the same time in services. It's a very important characteristic because the service provider is there. In this example, you can see that there is a lot of congeniality happening between the customers and the flight crew, and it happens real time. It can't be passed on to some other time, and the crew can't say that next time I'll be happy with the customers or something like that. It has to happen on real time basis. The next aspect is that customer is directly involved, which results in uncertainty. This could actually result into positive benefits or negative benefits for the company, which has to be very, very careful, because when there is a lot of interaction going on between the customer and the service provider, there is a chance that there might be some amount of risk and uncertainty involved. Next, mass production of service is difficult, as in products where we can really make huge amount of products and give it in the distribution. It is not possible like that here. And economies of scale is also not possible, because when we are talking about services, basically the basic nature of services is that it is customized, and you also have to put a lot of focus in service. That is where this particular characteristic is very, very difficult, and that's why I said it is very, very tricky also. Next is perishability. Services can't be saved, nor stored, nor resold or returned. In case of products, you have that advantage where you can return the product or You can, if it is under warranty, you can do some kind of things. But here in service, it is not possible, because if you have just watched the video carefully, you might have seen a lot of examples of Javed Hubby, master chefs, where and all, if you are not satisfied with the food, can you say I want to return it? It's not possible. Similarly, if you are dissatisfied with the haircut, you can't say I will return it or I want to resell it. It is not at all possible in services, right? Next, some challenges of perishability are demand forecasting. So it's very difficult to forecast the demand because it can't be stored. It has to be experienced on real time. The next challenge of perishability is that creative planning for capacity utilization. I have noticed in many of the PVR cinema ads sometime back that they would want their customers to visit their premises on Wednesdays or other non-weekend days so that they can completely utilize their capacity. This is one more trickier problem of service marketing because they can't completely depend on the utilization. If all the customers come on weekends, there might be a lot of dissatisfaction. They might not come back again. Instead of that, if they are coming on weekdays, and for customers who were visiting PVR cinemas on weekdays, they were getting lot of offers also. This is one important way where PVR cinemas did this particular planning very carefully. So in this video, we have seen the characteristics of services: intangibility, heterogeneity, simultaneous production and consumption, and perishability. Hope this video is very helpful to you. Thank you. Signing off, Saujanya.